Pretty, isn't it? This is the Coronado 114. This is the little brother to the 122 Coronado that's been out on the market now for a couple of years. The 114 is actually destined for tipper and dog, 19 metre B double, and in this spec 34 pallet B double interstate. Although as you can see it's got a 34 inch integrated bunk on it, and under the bonnet is a DD15 Detroit engine, so it's a 15 litre EGR engine. This is the only engine you can get in the Coronado 114. In the bigger 122, you have a Cummins or Detroit choice. I love this engine. It doesn't really matter what truck it's in. It's probably the pick of any of the EGR 15 litres on the market. EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, that helps it meet emissions, ADR, ADO3 emissions. So that means that underneath the cab is a horizontal active diesel particulate filter, or DPF, DPD, whatever you want to call it. The soot clogs up, gets to a certain level, a burner burns it all out again. The DD15 also uses a compound turbo. The Coronado also has a 1700 square inch radiator, because the thing about EGR is it bumps up engine running temperatures, because it's actually, even though it's cooling the exhaust gases as they go back into the combustion chamber, it still can't help but raise the operating temperature of the engine. So EGR engines tend to need a fairly decent sort of cooling system. It's a fairly mild autumn day in down here in Gippsland, and I haven't heard the engine fan really all day. So one of the interesting features of the Coronado, actually across the Coronado range, is it actually has two steering boxes, and they're connected with hydraulic lines. So at the end of the chassis, there's the two steering boxes are connected. This has a really interesting effect on actually driving it on the road. I've been on some pretty ordinary roads here down in South Gippsland, and there's no kickback through the wheel at all. You still got plenty of road feel. There's not this dead wheel feeling, but it actually there's none of that kick and hop back through the wheel. It's a great truck, just like its bigger brother. It's actually a great truck on the road. You might notice on the bonnet, I don't know if you can see it from there, there's a rather funky little hood ornament. It actually has another little purpose, and that is to make tilting the bonnet up a one-handed affair. One of the reasons for the twin steering boxes on the Coronado is so that Freightliner could actually mount the engine and the radiator as one unit. So when the engine flexes on its mounts when it's under load, the radiator actually moves with it. The reason for this was for the increased cooling capacity. They were able to bring the engine fan right up close to the surface of the radiator, closer than you normally would. While the Coronado is filling the gap left by Sterling, it also sort of, in my opinion, sort of fulfills another role. Freightliner, over the last 20 years, have built up a reputation for supplying, good, value for money, bread and butter trucks, but they didn't have a hero truck. There was no trophy sort of like bling it up and get out on the highway kind of thing, and the Coronado fulfills that. It's the flagship, and it's a nice looking truck for a change. It's got less of that utilitarian feel that over the past sort of couple of decades that Freightliner seem to have had. This particular Coronado's got an integrated bunk. It's just a little 34-inch bunk. In most cases, a bunk like this, you'd say, look, I'm not living in this all week. And to be fair, it is rather snug. Where the Coronado actually, and most of the Freightliner range, does what they do well is it's got a mid-roof. So you've actually got some room to sort of walk around, stand up, all that sort of thing, which a lot of trucks actually have a low roof above the driver. You've got a low roof over here. You're sort of walking around like Quasimodo trying to get dressed, undressed. There's still quite a bit of storage. Above the driver's head is a parcel shelf. I really think that parcel shelf needs a net of some sort. Only speaking from experience, when you have something bounce out of it and land on your head, it does tend to give you a bit of a fright. At the back here, storage cupboards. Interior wise, Freightliner have copped a little bit of flack over the years to the durability of the materials in their dash panels. Freightliner have actually changed the material, or the way they make the materials for their dash panels. Now they're injection moulded, whereas previously they weren't. They appear more durable. Freightliner reckon there's more consistency in making them this way, so you don't have variations in where things slot together, they don't move around so much. So I mean, the proof will be in the pudding on that one. Driving this truck is actually it actually feels like a cab over with a bonnet. It sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but it has a directness of feel on the road that it makes it feel very similar to its Argosy stablemate on the road, and probably helped by the interior looking very similar. And so you actually, for a bonneted truck, it's actually got quite a deal of manoeuvrability. Transmission wise, this one's equipped with 18-speed manual Road Ranger. The Ultra Shift Plus is also, the AMT is also available. You know, 6 one, half a dozen the other. The combination of the manual stick and a conventional with that engine, it's a very, very easy drive, and it's an effortless gear change. Most conventionals are the same. The gear stick's going straight into the top of the gearbox. You've got all the leverage of a nice long lever, a low inertia gearbox, and they just fall into gear. It's you're not wrestling with it at all. And this engine is a very, very civilised engine to drive, and it lugs down beautifully. So that's the Freightliner Coronado 114 with a set forward rear axle and short bumper to back a cab measurement. It's really got Western Star, Kenworth and Mack in their sights. This is a real this is their product to take to that market. So going on my few hours behind the wheel, I must say it's an admirable effort, and the most likeable thing about it, of course, is that Detroit engine. It's a really nice bit of gear to drive, and the rest of it ain't too bad either.